Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm back here for another speed build, and today we're back here for my weekly 64 by 64 lot mansion build, and today's one we're going to go ahead and build this autumnal dream mansion. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up in the gallery now. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1. So I'm going to go ahead and put a card on screen now with some information about this build. So came in at 627,204 simoleons. It has 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and I built it on the 64 by 64 lot in Brindleton Bay, and it took me 2.5 hours to build this. Now 2.5 hours, I mean, it is a little bit longer than what I normally kind of do for this size mansion, and I know that's kind of what everybody talks about these days with me and my speed builds, is how fast I do them. But I mean, you know, it isn't too bad. It's just a little bit longer than normal, but still I'm really happy with how this home turned out. It is an autumnal theme, and if you don't know, I absolutely love autumn, and because of that it gives me a good excuse to do more autumn builds in The Sims 4, especially this time of year. So you're probably going to be seeing a few more of those on the channel. So as you would have saw just before, the price of 627,000 simoleons is, you know, a little bit on the pricey side. I don't really do mansions that expensive. I didn't even realize it was that expensive actually until just now. But you know, it's kind of like with these mansions is that I don't really like to restrict myself in terms of what I'm doing. I just kind of like to do what I want, really. So price isn't really something that I think about too often, just because I like to just go crazy on stuff. I think the thing is with the price is that it's because of the landscaping, because I love to do landscaping. I kind of put landscaping everywhere. It's kind of that plants are really expensive in The Sims 4. So that's probably one of the main things that's bringing up the price quite a lot. But you know, these mansion builds, it's going to be your richer Sims that's going to be able to afford this anyway. So I suppose it isn't going to be too much of a big deal when you consider who's going to be living here. And like I said, 7 bedrooms. It's going to be for pretty much a full house family. I mean, of course, you could have, you know, just 2 Sims if you wanted to. It's up to you. But, you know, the space is there if you have a big family. So in today's build, as you can see, there is a lot of garden space. Now, recently, I've been kind of struggling with the garden spaces a lot. I don't really know why, to be honest. I've just been in a funk with them. You've probably heard me talk about this quite a lot in my last couple of mansion builds and speed builds in general. I've just been struggling a lot with just kind of filling up the space in the backyard and just kind of decorating it well. But I'm actually really happy how this one turned out. I kind of just spent a little bit more time kind of just filling up each kind of space. So I built this like a few weeks ago. Well, not really a few weeks ago, maybe like a week ago now. So I can't exactly remember every single thing we did, because also I've just been building another mansion build today for next week. So I'm kind of going to end up probably getting some things mixed up. But yeah, this is what I was thinking. We've got this kind of guest house here, which is sort of like, well, it was going to be a guest house, but I actually just changed it into sort of like I guess just an entertainment room. It's kind of got like a TV and a seating area in there. Does it have a TV? I can't remember if I put a TV in there, but it just have like a seating area. So, and it also has its own bathroom, so you don't have to walk to the main part of the house if you're kind of just spending time in there. So maybe, you know, you're just having people, you've got friends over or something, and you kind of just want your own time, then that's maybe a good place to go or something. And we've also got this gazebo here too. So if you're, I think I do think I put either a bar or a barbecue in this sort of gazebo with a little seating area, so that's an option there as well to go and just spend some time. And then in the front kind of part of the home, we do also have this garage area, as you can see, and I also did this kind of thing where I saw, you might be able to see there, how I have like a sort of like a walkway connecting the main part of the house to the garage. It's kind of got a roof over it, and I did also do a little seating area there because it's kind of a big sort of porch area, I guess. So that's what I did there, which I do this on my next mansion build coming up as well, just unintentionally. So I'm gonna have to probably pay more attention to that now, because I'm going to probably end up doing that a lot. But it's just something I kind of just tried and it worked out. So I'm really happy that happened though, because it's something a little bit different. You can also see as well that we'll have a massive wraparound porch on the front of the home. I actually looked at, well, I don't do this too often, where I look at inspiration photos for builds. I normally kind of just have an idea in my head most of the time of what I want to do for a speed build, and even if I don't, what I do is I just start placing walls, not randomly across the lot, but you know, connecting the walls, and I kind of just start making home up like that without really any inspiration, and kind of just do what I want, which is most of what I do. I think it's just because I've developed my own building style. I build so much that I kind of just know what I like to do and what I don't like to do, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really look at inspiration photos that often. But there's nothing wrong with it, and I actually did it for today. I don't like to follow the inspiration photos fully. I normally just use it as a basic starting point if I'm struggling to get things going, which is what I did here. And this particular home had a wraparound porch on the front, and that's where I got the inspiration, and then I kind of just built on from that. And yeah, so we're just working on a little pond area here. I've started doing these a lot more actually, and it's when I kind of want to do landscaping in the front, or sometimes in the back as well, but I just feel like I'm going a little bit too overkill, so sometimes it's a nice idea to kind of change things up to incorporate something else to look at in the front yard instead of just, you know, a load of plants and stuff. Also got a double garage there, as you can see, and I do actually put the... Wait, do I put stone on the garage doors again? I don't think I do. I think we went for some siding this time, which is a little bit more appropriate, because you may have seen in the last couple of builds where I've been doing garages, is that I've been putting stone on the garage doors, which makes no sense. I don't even think about it when I'm doing it, and I got a few comments, people picking it up on it, which is a little bit embarrassing to say the least. So I know it's such a minor thing, but I don't know why I've been thinking about it so much, so a little bit more actively aware when I go ahead and do the garages to not put stone on them. Anyway, so this is the pool area here. Now, I always struggle with pools. I'm not really too happy with this, to be honest. I know, like, it just looks a little bit of a mess, I guess you could say. Well, actually, the kind of island thing in the middle isn't. It's all the kind of I guess like the pond stuff I put in it as well, which kind of just made it look a little bit odd. I mean, I kind of have mixed opinions. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, it's not too bad, then I go back and look at it and I'm like, ew. But I'm kind of okay with it now. So, there's also something else that I just wanted to mention, is that the last couple of days I've been thinking about incorporating another mansion build into my weekly videos. So, at the minute, well, for the last year, I've been uploading on Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, most of the time, being for the Fix Me Thomas TV renovation series, and Sundays being for the mansion builds. But since my mansion builds are the most popular videos during the week and everybody kind of looks forward for those the most, which is totally fine, I thought it might be a nice idea to incorporate a second 64x64 lot mansion build, and I'm thinking about doing this on Fridays. Now, at the minute, I know that we've been getting some news that we're going to be getting some more information about upcoming packs in October, so I don't want to make this decision now, because what I don't want to do is, because normally when a new pack comes out, I do lots of builds for that pack, so I don't want to end up now starting the series if we're going to get, you know, an announcement or something on Fridays or whatever. So I'm just going to kind of wait until this stream that we've got on October 2nd for the Max's monthly stream by the Sim Gurus. I'm going to wait until then to see what's happening, and then I'll kind of announce the series on Twitter if it's going to go ahead. Now, I know it's pretty crazy. Doing 2 64x64 lots a week is going to be a crazy amount of work for me. I mean, you know, they don't take me that long to begin with, but they do, it's still, you know, there's a lot of other things that goes into it, so you know, I'm not too sure about it yet, but I think it will be a good idea because it is something that you like, so I'm just gonna have to think about it a lot more. I'm not going to rush this decision because it is a lot of it's a big thing for me to take on, so you know, I'm just going to wait a little bit longer to see how things plan out, and make sure I'm definitely happy about this before I say that I'm going to announce it and stuff. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd mention it to maybe if you have any opinions or anything on it. And I think what I'm going to do is, if I do go ahead and do it, and I'm maybe having a very stressful day where I'm not going to be able to get the build up in time, I'm not going to worry about it, and I will just upload another speed build on that day instead. So, you know, it may be like a bi-weekly thing, it might be every week unless I don't get the chance to, that sort of thing. I'll just have to see. So, we're now working on the interior of the home, as you can see, and just like all my other speed builds, all of the wall coverings and flooring is already done, because it is just something that is, you see it anyway when we work on that particular room, so I just think the build's already kind of long enough, so you don't need to see me place it down, so you can kind of just see when we do the interior finishing of that particular room. So, in this build, there's a few kind of living rooms, because that always ends up being the case for these huge big mansion builds, because, you know, they're just, I don't want to end up being like 10 bedrooms, so it's just kind of, that's the case sometimes what happens, and this particular build is a lot bigger in terms of the actual interior of the home, and the sheer size of this home is just huge compared to what my normal mansion builds are like, which sounds weird because it is still on 64x64 lot. But what I do sometimes is that I make the actual size of the home smaller, and I focus a lot more on the exterior, and then sometimes I did the other way around, which is kind of the case with this. It's more of like a 50-50 thing because the backyard area is pretty big at the same time, so it did take me a little bit longer. That's probably one of the reasons why it did take me a little bit longer today, but you know what, I'm still really happy how this turned out, and it is sometimes nice to kind of just do something really huge for once. I mean, I say that, and pretty much all my builds are like that, but this is kind of an exception. Yes, I did go ahead and do the siding on the garage doors today, which I'm happy about, and this is the garage, as you can see. Now, what I actually did with this room is make it into a garage area. Sorry, what? I was supposed to say make it into a gym. So that's what I do a lot of the time with my mansion builds, is that with the garages, they are pretty big, and also in the Sims 4 in general, there isn't really much purpose for a garage, or garage, however you say it. So I did just go ahead and make it into a general gym, and there is also a bathroom in there, I think, as well, because I did... Is this laundry? Oh no, this laundry room is actually upstairs, which was a little bit odd. I was kind of thinking about it, like, do I put the laundry room upstairs? Because downstairs we kind of filled up all the space, and with my mansion builds, I do normally like to include a laundry room, just because there's, you know, the space for it. And I do normally like to include them sometimes on the down floor. I don't know why, just fits better, I suppose, but it ended up being upstairs this time, which I suppose isn't too much of a bad idea, because if you think about it, if your Sims are going to have to go through all the laundry baskets in the house, most of the laundry baskets are going to be with the bathrooms and the bedrooms, so you know, I suppose it makes it easier in that way. If they're going to walk all the way around the lot on the upstairs, it kind of just makes it easier to go ahead and put it in the laundry machines. So I think that's maybe worked out quite good for this home, actually. So this room right here is the purple themed room. I say that pretty much all the time because I do love to include a purple coloured room. Just because with seasons, you know, we get a lot of nice purple themed stuff, and the darker colours work really well with the purple colour swatches that we've got with seasons items. So I do normally like to include a purple room to make use of that, so that's what we did today. I don't know if it's the master bedroom because, like I say all the time, my builds are pretty huge and all of the bedrooms are pretty massive, so it's really hard to decide on what is the master bedroom or not. So maybe that purple room was pretty big, so maybe that could be, I don't know. But this room right here is a sort of like a teens room, I guess you could say. I don't normally do very specific rooms, I'm keeping fairly neutral in my speed builds, so you can move in the sim you want and change up the room to their personality. So I did want to go ahead and just kind of change things up and do a little more of a personalised style room. This could be, you know, it's still not fully personalised. This still could be for a boy, a girl, a child, a teen, really up to you. But, you know, it's just kind of fun to do that sometimes. And I am getting a lot of lag right now on my playback screen. I'm really sorry if you see that. I have been having a lot of recording issues the last couple of days because I've been recording just a lot of videos. So it's meant that I have a lot of video files on my computer and my hard drive space is pretty much full, so I've had to kind of go through once I've finished with something and delete it as quick as I can because it is taking effect on the recording quality. So hopefully it isn't too much of a big deal. Like right now I'm not seeing lag, but sometimes, you know, like that particular clip that I mentioned about just before, you may not have been seeing lag, even though I was, but now, you know, I'm not seeing lag, but maybe you are. I don't know. It sometimes, once it renders out, it's fine, but it just kind of depends really on what's happening. I'm really sorry, like I said, if you do see lag at the minute, but, you know, hopefully it won't last the full video. But yeah, so this room right here is kind of just another sort of living room in this guest house area. So you saw there that we just did kind of just a big seating area. There's no real purpose to this, it's really just another living room, but you could easily, if you want to, and maybe if you have a multi-generational family living here, then maybe you could change that into a bedroom for them, and maybe have the elders living in this kind of granny flat, I guess you could say. So that's maybe another option for you if you have a big family living here. So, this room right here is just another bedroom. I mean, nothing really that too special about it. It's just more of a neutral room. I do like to switch the colours up every now and again throughout the bedrooms to keep things interesting and different. But, you know, I still have a kind of similar style of furnishing that goes throughout all of them, though. But yeah, so we're nearing the end of the build. We've just got kind of like 2 minutes left of footage before we head onto the screenshots. And we do have quite a few of them, so I don't know if you know, but I do put screenshots at the end of my builds all the time, just you know, well, sometimes what I have to do is for these bigger builds I have a lot of footage and I don't want the builds to turn out, in terms of the video length, I don't want them to turn out like really long, so I may have to cut out things here and there to kind of make the speed build at normal length, and one of those things is that I do to kind of make up for it is put screenshots at the end of all the rooms so you can kind of see how the finished product turned out. So, what else did I want to mention? There's something, oh yeah, that was it. If you have any more ideas for mansion builds, that'd be really, really helpful to hear, because I have been struggling the last couple of weeks to come up with new mansion build ideas. So if you do have any ideas, that'd be really, really helpful to hear. So let me know in the comment section if you do. I always make a note of any viewer suggestions. I do get a lot of Twitter messages and mentions and comments and emails as well, and I'll always make a note of those on my video ideas list. So feel free to submit any ideas at all you have, even if it's kind of just like a, you know, inspiration photo or something. That'd be really helpful as well. Even though I say I don't really use inspiration photos that often, if you do have one in mind that you think would be good for mansion build, then well actually sometimes what I do is, if I do look at inspiration photos for mansion builds, a lot of the time they're not even, you know, big homes. Sometimes they're just really small homes, but I just use it as a starting point and change it into a mansion. That's what I do most of the time. But anyway, we're nearly at the screenshots now. I really hope you enjoyed today's speed build. If you did, in the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and go ahead and download this from the Simsol gallery. My origin ID is real ThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!